Leo, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Keeping in mind these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone, so make sure to check out your other placements. And if you're interested in a personal reading, check out the information in the description below. You can send me an email and set that up. All right, my friends, let's get started here for Leo. We're going to use the Oracle deck I created, the Storyteller Oracle, and see what are the messages. What's the story for Leo? That's the most important this week. Notice the cards just fly out of this deck and they weave a wonderful story for us. Okay, great. Now we see what's the beginning of this story. What's the first card in this story? Oh, some interesting ones in here. Okay. All right. What's the first card in this story? Thank you. Okay. So we see hidden and transmute coming up. So this is interesting, Leo. There may be something that hasn't completely revealed itself to you yet, but you're feeling it already. And it's almost like you're being guided to shift into a space that allows you to sort of sense this entanglement. I love this card. This always reminds me that when I created this card, it was with the intention of that spooky action at a distance, which was the entanglement theory that Einstein talks about, where when two particles, even at a great distance, when you impact one of those particles, the other particle also feels that impact and responds in the same way, even at a distance. As long as they were cut from the same molecule, both of them will respond. And so this is an interesting message for you. You're connected to something at a distance. And I love the way Einstein described it, spooky action at a distance, because if this is way over here and I have something here and I do something to this crystal, this responds as well, even though they're at a distance and I'm not impacting this object. And so look into it. It's an interesting observation of physics. And so we are energy as well. So there's something happening here for you that's similar. Something at a distance is being impacted, and it's having an impact on you, but it's not quite clear to you yet. It's hidden still. So this is intriguing to me. We're seeing healer. Interesting. So something could be coming in here to bring healing to something that you don't expect. Okay, let's get the rest here. Oh, I love that you got the other half of that card, which is the curiosity card. These are, it's the same image, but in one card, it's completely hidden. And on the other side, it's, ooh, what's going on? Very curious. So I feel like you're going to figure this out, Leo. There's something that you're entangled in. It's going to bring in some healing energy. Right now, you're not talking about it. You're silent on it. And it could be distracting you, that this feeling, it's almost like there's this sort of itch below the surface and you're not sure what's causing it and where it's coming from, but you certainly feel it. It almost feels like a psychic connection between you and someone. And it's got a very healing energy to it, but it's causing you to feel distracted. You're closed off. You might even be feeling a bit impulsive and sort of wanting to do something about this, but you don't know what to do because you can't see it yet. You know what I mean? Very interesting energy surrounding you this week, Leo. Let's put these cards over here and pull your tarot cards. So Leo's working with something at a distance and you feel it, but you can't speak on it yet because you don't know what's going on. This is a perfect time to get a reading, actually, because in moments like this where we have a sense of something, but it hasn't quite shown up yet in our energy, it can be very interesting to get a reading to reveal what's going on. But whatever it is, I feel like it's going to cause a big shift. You see the shift, the flip the script. This is something that's really going to change the narrative a bit. And I think it's going to relieve you from some of this impulsivity, this sort of closed off feeling, and this distraction that's causing you to sort of feel a heightened sense of things that you can't see yet. Wow, very interesting. Let's check the bottom of the deck. Oh, it's trapped. Interesting. So whatever this is, it really is creating sort of that entanglement feeling. You know, when I think about entanglement with trapped, it makes me feel like you're caught in this web. You're caught in a net and you don't know how to get out. And actually it's creating a lot of, like I said, like sort of an itch below the surface, some impulsivity. It could be coming through as a bit of anxiety this week, and you don't know where it's coming from. You're sort of like, I really feel anxious about something, and yet everything around me appears the same, but something is shifting, and I'm going to be shifting with that transmute card. And this shift one feels like you're going to heal something. And as I say that, we see the star card coming out in reverse, which is a very healing energy. When it's in reverse, and there's the Three of Pentacles it came out with, when that star card is in reverse, it can show us a time where we do feel out of sorts, where we do feel like we're not connecting deep down to ourselves anymore. We might be distracted, we might be feeling impulsive and closed off, which is very consistent with what we're seeing here. So something has got you sort of out of sorts this week, Leo, and it's interesting because you're sort of being guided to work with others on this, to look at the foundation of whatever is underlying this feeling, and sort of to connect with others to see what supports you might need, what improvements you might need to make. How can your support system guide you? There's the 10 of Wands. So you're about to have a new beginning. And I think you're sensing it. You can feel this ending and a new beginning coming through. And you're curious. You want to know. Where's this going? Where's this heading? Well, let's see. I saw the Ace of Wands earlier. It could really be heading into a brand new beginning for you. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Swords, Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. Or sorry, that's the Seven of Wands, not Seven of Swords. So this is that feeling of being closed and impulsive and almost defensive. So it's almost like you're at a place where you're ready to shift. You're ready to put down these wands that you've been collecting, and you're ready to collect your harvest and sort of, I feel like you're ready for this new beginning, but you're not sure where it's taking you. You might be feeling a little defensive, impulsive, needing to work with others, even though you've gotten so distracted by something here, Leo. And, the guidance here is really to follow your heart. Follow your heart. Queen of Cups is a beautiful message of following the heart. And I feel like that will improve your general emotional state. It says if you follow your heart. And Knight of Swords in reverse is an interesting one because it can point to that feeling of impulsivity being a little like it's creating some of this defensive energy. And I kind of feel like these cards go together. It almost feels like on one hand, you can follow your heart and bring some healing in, right? There's that healer card. So by following your heart and sort of trusting yourself and regaining that faith in yourself, you can bring healing to something. By shifting your perspective and getting curious about how supports and other people, collaborators, conscious collaborators, people that you want to work with, how can they serve you? I feel like and how can you serve them? I feel like you can serve each other here. How can you transmute this feeling of impulsivity and defensiveness into collaboration, completion, and a new beginning, as opposed to feeling trapped? Bottom of the deck is the Six of Pentacles. So I feel like things are turning around for you. You're starting to come into balance with something, but you can't see it yet. You can't see it yet, and it's just a beginning here. And I feel like that's why you're silent. That's why you're silent, because you're feeling a little defensive, a little impulsive. So you're staying silent, you're closed off. This feeling of distraction, I feel, is going to shift for you. But man, oh man, are you ever in a connection here? There's something happening that involves another person, place, or thing. And it's like you're getting closer and closer to it, but you haven't turned the corner yet so that you can see it. You know what I mean? But you can feel it. It's like you feel drawn to something here. Let's clarify. Star in reverse. Ooh, look at that. Star in reverse is coming through with the Queen of Cups again, and the Hierophant. So again, following your heart is the key. That's what these two cards together tell me, that following your heart is the key to healing whatever is making you feel distracted, impulsive, and closed off. Let's look at that Three of Pentacles and that 10 of Wands. 7 of Pentacles. It's so, this card now always reminds me of what Chris on the Minnow Pond channel says. He always says, is the juice worth the squeeze, when this card comes up, and I can't get that out of my head. I love it. And it's a very good question. There's something here that you are almost gotta decide. You know, is it worth it? Is this 10 of Wands, going back and forth, collecting these wands, is it still resonating for you? Or are you starting to get curious about a new project that involves collaborating with others? Follow your heart, Leo. You're going to transmute this, and I feel like you're going to understand where this is drawing you towards. And it's interesting. I feel like you're about to do things in a different way. And you got to follow your heart. You got to trust yourself. Let's look at this defensive, impulsive energy. Yes. Look. We see Temperance with the Empress in reverse. That is your impatient, impulsive, not trusting yourself, feeling defensive energy. But look what's in between them, the Four of Wands. That's your gateway. That's your gateway in between these two energies. This is your transmuting. This is you transmuting impatience and a lack of trusting yourself. Feeling defensive can often be a signal that we're not trusting ourselves because we're triggered, right? We're defensive. And it's almost like there's a pathway right in between both of them. If you can surrender to being patient, trusting yourself, following your heart, shifting directions, and trusting yourself as you shift directions. Wow, Leo, let's look at the bottom of the deck. It's the Magician in reverse. Yeah, because you're needing to see that you can transmute something. And again, this is the same energy, transmute and the Magician. It's the same idea that you can take something, shift the energy around it, and see a different outcome. But you have to be willing to shift first. And I feel like the pathway for you to shift involves sort of moving through this gateway and trusting yourself. Trusting your heart will guide you. Trusting that you can shift into a new state and that you can choose a new path for yourself. You don't have to stay on the same path. And I think you're very curious what a new path would lead to. So follow your heart this week, Leo. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I hope it's been helpful, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Take care, my friends. Sending you so much love.